What if the very quality of a space transforms when you step into it? Not through any word or action, but from a quiet stillness that emanates from you. A presence that causes a restless room to settle, that draws the gaze of young children, that makes animals pause with a look of serene curiosity. What if you have spent a lifetime brushing these moments aside, calling them chance? They are not. They are echoes of your inner state. Our journey begins here. There is a truth that science is only beginning to map, but which ancient traditions have always understood as fundamental. Some spoke of an inner light, a clarity that cannot be concealed. Others described it as a deep resonance, an unwavering center. Whatever term we use, we speak of the same thing. The invisible field of your presence that radiates from you, touching everyone and everything within its reach. And here is an insight rarely shared: not all presence is the same. Most people move through life with their inner energy fragmented, scattered by the winds of thought and emotion. Their presence is like a flickering flame. But then there are those whose inner state is so coherent, so profoundly settled, that it brings a quiet order to the world around them. Perhaps you are one of them. The signs begin with a subtle awareness you may have known as a child, but learned to disregard. If you feel a connection to this path of self-discovery, to understanding the depth of your own presence, I invite you to join our community. Subscribe to this channel so we may continue this exploration together. And to affirm your own journey, find a quiet moment and write this in the comments below. I am T-style ES8HECNTAR. Declare it and feel the truth in those words. The first signal, the quiet observer. Have you ever been in a crowd and felt a sense of profound separateness? Not from a place of superiority or alienation, but from a deep knowing that your perception is simply different. As if others are caught in the waves on the surface, while you are aware of the deep, silent currents underneath. You participate, you connect, you share. Yet a part of you remains an unmoved witness, observing the flow of life from a place of great stillness. This is not a social defense. It is the first signal of a powerful, centered presence, the capacity to be both in the world and of a deeper awareness. Most are consumed by the immediate, what is happening, what comes next, what is thought of them. But for you, there is a dual reality. One foot on the earth, the other anchored in a vast inner space. You perceive the subtle energies that others miss. How often have you sensed the truth before it was spoken? Not through any dramatic foresight, but in small, consistent ways. You feel a friend is in distress, and they call you at that very moment. You enter a space and immediately sense the underlying emotion, even when smiles are worn like masks. This is your refined awareness, your presence, attuning to the interconnected field of life. While others are hearing conversations, you are listening to the spaces between sounds. While others are seeing forms, you are sensing the essence within. But this sensitivity carries a weight, does it not? The burden of perception, because when your inner field is this open, this attuned, you do not just experience your own emotions. You feel the resonance of everything. The unspoken sadness in a room becomes a quiet ache in your heart. The hidden joy becomes a gentle warmth in your spirit. You can walk through a marketplace and return home needing solitude, not from physical tiredness, but from absorbing and harmonizing 1,000 different energies. And this leads us to something even more fundamental, a truth that may explain the lifelong feeling of being apart from the current. The second signal, the mirror effect. Here is where the path deepens. If this next insight touches a chord within you, I invite you to share your story, for it is a shared experience among those with a strong inner presence, yet one we seldom discuss. People's true nature tends to emerge around you, not because you are trying to guide them, but simply because you are there. Your presence acts like the surface of a still, clear lake. In your company, people see their own reflection more clearly. Friends might suddenly begin to re-evaluate their lives after a quiet conversation with you. People you've only just met may share their deepest vulnerabilities, often saying, "I don't know why I'm sharing this with you." Or, I've never spoken of this to anyone. It is as if your centered presence creates a space of profound safety, where the masks can be set aside. But this is not always a comfortable process for them. Your grounded energy naturally creates a contrast with anything that is not authentic, anything that is out of alignment with one's own truth. Some are not yet ready for that honesty. This is why you may observe a distinct pattern in your connections. People are either drawn to you with deep trust or feel an unease they cannot explain. There is seldom a neutral ground. Your presence does not thrive on the superficial. It calls for authenticity, clarity, and transformation. Reflect on your journey. How many people have expressed that your meeting was a turning point for them? Yet also, how many have withdrawn because the quiet intensity of your truthfulness felt too revealing for them to bear? This is not a personal failing. It is the nature of a strong inner presence. You are not meant to be a fleeting warmth. You are meant to be a steady light that illuminates the path for yourself and, by extension, for others. The third signal: alignment with the way. The influence of your centered state extends beyond your interactions. We now enter a realm of experience that some might dismiss, but if you carry a strong presence, it has been the quiet rhythm of your entire life. Reality itself seems to flow with you, not against you. This is not about willing things into existence through force of mind. It is something far more organic and profound. The universe seems to gently guide you to where you need to be, at the precise moment you need to be there. You decide to walk instead of drive, and you encounter an old friend with the very insight you were seeking. You are drawn to a random book on a shelf, and it opens to a page that answers a question held deep in your heart. A sudden feeling guides you to take a different path, and you later learn you avoided a major delay. These are not mere chances. This is your inner harmony resonating with the greater harmony of existence. The laws of nature itself reveal that a coherent energy field influences its environment. Ancient wisdom traditions have long taught this as living in accordance with the Tao, or the way. You have been walking this path intuitively. The only question is, have you been calling it coincidence, or have you begun to recognize the gentle wisdom of the flow? If you're starting to see this pattern in your own life, take a moment to subscribe. We are delving deeper into these truths, and I invite you to be on this journey of understanding the nature of your own being. The fourth signal: the disturbance of the unsettled. Now, we must touch upon a truth that may be challenging, but it is essential for anyone cultivating a strong presence. You become a beacon, not as a target for harm, but as a source of stillness for the unsettled. Just as moving air is drawn toward a point of stillness, those with scattered or depleted inner states are unconsciously drawn to your centeredness. They carry no ill will. Most are not even aware of their own inner state, but they sense the peace within you and seek its comfort. You know these encounters. After spending time with them, you feel a profound sense of depletion, not a physical weariness, but an inner emptiness, as if your own reservoir of quiet has been drawn upon. They may be kind individuals, people you care for deeply, but on an energetic level, their unsettled state seeks balance from your field because they have not yet learned how to cultivate their own inner stillness. This is why you may find that you require more time in solitude than others, not out of a dislike for people, but because your inner state needs silence to recalibrate, to return to its natural harmony free from the constant pull of other fields. And notice this: on days when you feel especially grounded, particularly clear and present, do you find these draining interactions lessen? Perhaps appointments are cancelled, or people seem to keep their distance. This is not by chance. It is your centered presence naturally maintaining its integrity, its balance, when it is fully embodied. The fifth signal's innate wisdom. This brings us to what is perhaps the most profound signal, one that speaks to a journey far beyond a single lifetime. If you possess a truly grounded presence, you carry within you an innate wisdom, not a memory of facts, but a direct knowing, a quiet understanding of profound truths you have never formally learned, you may encounter a deep spiritual teaching for the first time, and it feels less like learning and more like remembering. As if someone has finally given a name to a truth you have always held within your heart. This is because a strong presence is often the mark of a consciousness that has journeyed through many seasons of being, gathering wisdom, refining its essence, preparing for this very moment. What this moment is for, only your own journey can reveal. But the fact that you are here, that these words resonate within you, that a deep recognition is stirring, that is no accident. You are beginning to remember the truth of who you are, the shadow path. Let me be direct about something many teachers of the spirit avoid. Cultivating a powerful presence is not only about light and harmony. It brings with it a shadow path, with challenges that can feel immense if they are not understood. The sense of isolation can be deeply felt at times, when you perceive so much, feel so much, and know so much, but cannot share the depth of it, because the world is not always ready to listen. The moments when you must quiet your own inner knowing, just to create harmony, just to make others feel at ease. When you must pretend you do not see what you see, or feel what you feel. The sheer weight of the collective emotion can feel like being in a turbulent sea. A simple visit to a crowded place can feel like walking through a battlefield of conflicting energies. A family dinner can leave you needing days to find your center again, not from social fatigue, but from energetic imbalance. And perhaps the most difficult shadow of all, the doubt, because the world around you does not often validate your experience. Science does not yet have the language for it. And in your quietest moments, you can be left wondering if it is all in your mind, if you are simply different, disconnected, too sensitive. Let me offer this perspective. You are not disconnected. You are not too sensitive. Your awareness is exactly as vast as it is meant to be. The work is not to become less aware. The work is to learn how to skillfully navigate with this awareness, to care for your inner space, to wield your presence with wisdom and compassion. The deeper purpose. Here is what is unfolding on a level deeper than our daily lives. This is important, so allow these words to settle within you. We are living in a time of great turning, a great awakening. Ancient traditions speak of this as a shift in the consciousness of the earth itself. The veil between the seen and then seen is becoming more transparent. And those with a strong, grounded presence, you are not merely observing this change. You are anchors for it. Your centered state is not just for your own peace. It is powerful because you have a role to play in the collective settling. Every person you meet with genuine presence, every room you enter with inner quiet, every intentional thought you hold, sends a calming ripple into the collective field of consciousness. This is the source of that feeling you've always had, that you were here for something more. Not from a place of ego, but from a place of deep inner knowing, like you arrived here with a quiet mission, even if its details are not yet fully clear. The practice of presence. So, what does one do with this understanding? How do you walk in the world with a strong presence, a world that is often chaotic and uncomprehending of it? First, cease to doubt your own direct experience. That inner knowing you possess, trust its quiet guidance. Those moments of perfect timing, observe them with gratitude. That feeling of being different, honor it as the unique way life is expressing itself through you. You are not adrift, you are aware. Second, learn to consciously steward your inner state. This involves creating clear energetic boundaries, not just physical ones. It requires finding a practice to regularly return to your center, whether through silent sitting, walking in nature, or simply deep, conscious breathing. It asks for wisdom in choosing who and what you give your energy to. Third, and this is essential, cease dimming your inner light to make others feel more comfortable in their shadows. The world does not need a lesser version of you. It needs your full, grounded presence. Yes, some will find it unsettling. Yes, some may turn away. But others, those who are ready, will be awakened by your stillness. They will be reminded of their own deep center because you had the courage to abide in yours. If this perspective resonates with you, If you feel that quiet stirring of recognition, leave a comment, share your experience. One of the most strengthening things we can do is to find one another, to support this shared path, and to validate the truth of this journey. You are not on this path alone. There are more of us than you can imagine. The sacred duty. With great presence comes a great and sacred duty, not of the heroic kind, but something far more profound. When your inner state is settled and clear, your thoughts have greater resonance. Your intentions carry more weight. Your emotional state creates larger ripples. You are no longer responsible only for your own experience. You are an active co-creator of the collective field. This is why the inner work becomes the most important work for people like you. It is not a hobby. It is the essential practice. Every shadow you bring light to, every old wound you tend to with compassion, every limiting pattern you release, it does not simply transform you. It changes the field around you. It creates more space for others to heal, to grow, to awaken. Reflect on the last time you went through a period of deep inner work. Did you not notice that, soon after, those around you began to experience shifts as well? A partner suddenly opening up about feelings long suppressed. A friend finally finding the courage to leave a harmful situation. A family member beginning to question old, rigid ways of thinking. This is not by chance. This is the mirror effect of a centered presence engaged in its own conscious evolution. The ultimate knowing. And now we arrive at the deepest truth. The one that, once truly seen, changes everything. Your presence is not a thing that you have. It is what you are. You are not a body that possesses a field of energy. You are a field of conscious energy that is temporarily expressing itself through a body. The body is a vessel for a season. But you, the awareness, the presence, the stillness, the essence, you are eternal. This is why you have always felt, on some level, that this world is not your final home. Because a part of you remembers what it is to be pure awareness. You remember the freedom of being without form. You remember the truth that humanity has largely forgotten, that we are boundless beings having a temporary, precious human experience. And here is the profound paradox. You chose to be here. With all your sensitivity, with all your awareness, you chose to enter into this form, in this time of great challenge on this beautiful and dense planet. Why? Because this is the place of profound practice. This is where consciousness grows through relationship. This is where compassion is learned through the illusion of separation, where light learns its own nature by shining in the darkness, where strength is forged through meeting resistance. You are not here in spite of your powerful presence. You are here because of it. So, where do you stand now? Perhaps at a crossroads. On one path, you can continue to doubt, to quiet your light, to try to fit into a shape that was never meant for you. That way may feel safer, less demanding. But on the other path, you choose to fully embody your own presence. You cease apologizing for your depth. You cease hiding your quiet knowing. You cease pretending. You become the one you came here to be. And I understand this path can feel daunting. It can feel like a great responsibility. But here is the secret: you do not walk it by yourself. Others like you are finding their center, remembering their purpose, stepping into their own truth. We are helping to bring forth a new way of being, one centered heart at a time. The transformation. This is what happens when you fully accept and embody your natural presence. Life ceases to be a struggle against the current and becomes a dance with the flow. Moments of synchronicity are no longer surprising. They become the language of the way. Your relationships cease to be draining and become nourishing because you naturally attract those who resonate with your own depth. Your work ceases to feel separate from your spirit and becomes an expression of your purpose. But most importantly, you stop feeling that you are strange or broken or too much. You realize that you are precisely as you are meant to be, that your sensitivity is your greatest tool for perception, that your stillness is a gift to a noisy world, that your difference is not an error, but an essential part of the whole design. The world needs people who can hold a space of quiet clarity, who can be anchors of peace in turbulent times, who can remain centered when all around is chaos, who can choose love when others choose fear, who can see the truth behind illusion. The world needs your powerful, grounded presence operating in its full, natural capacity. The final truth. And so we come to the end of these words, but it is truly the beginning of your conscious journey. For now you know, and this knowing cannot be undone. Now, you must choose what you will do with this awareness. But let me leave you with one final insight. It is the most vital of all. Your presence is powerful not because you are special, but because you remember that everyone is sacred. Your inner light shines not to set you apart, but to remind others of the light within themselves. Your strength is not meant for superiority. It is meant for service. Service to truth, to compassion, to the awakening of all beings. Every person you encounter is a sleeping master, a forgotten sage, a Buddha who has not yet remembered. And your grounded presence, it is like a gentle bell, quietly reminding them to awaken. So the real question is not whether your presence is powerful. The question is, how will you use it? Will you use it to create distance, to feel separate, to judge those who are still lost in the dream? Or will you use it to serve, to love, to help uplift others into their own remembering? Will you hide it in fear, or will you shine it with quiet courage? Will you doubt it, or will you trust it and truly begin to live? The choice is yours. It always has been. And that, perhaps, is the ultimate signal of a powerful presence, the deep, unshakable recognition that you have the freedom to choose, in every moment, who you are and how you walk in this world. You are not like everyone else. You never were meant to be. The world does not need another imitation. It needs your authentic presence in all its quiet, radiant, and transformative truth. So shine, not because you must, not because I say so, but because it is your very nature. Because it is why you are here. Because somewhere in this world, someone is searching in the shadows, and your steady light may be the very thing that helps them find their way home to themselves, to their own center, to the truth of who they have always been, just as you are finding your way home right now. Welcome home, peaceful heart. Welcome home. If these words have touched something deep inside you, that quiet place of knowing, please share this message with another who may need this reminder. To continue this journey of deepening our practice together, please subscribe and leave a comment sharing your own experience of presence. Your story may be the beacon that someone else needs to see today. Remember, you are not alone. You are not strange, and you are most certainly not too much. You are precisely enough. You are perfectly you. And you are right on time. Until we meet again, walk in peace. The world needs the stillness you bring, more than you know.